Yes, this is me. Lazy, fat, aimless, unhappy with the way I live. Enough. I need to change. It's time to lock in and change my life. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I went from realization to determination, the things need to be removed from my life, and how I'm going to change my life. How did I get there? Let's rewind a bit. You know the feeling when you are just going with the flow, drifting aimlessly, and you end up stuck in a never-ending loop? Yeah, that was me. I think it's been over 2 years now since my life started slipping out of my control bit by bit. Like a lot of young people, my life became all about non-stop partying and self-destructive lifestyle. I was eating tons of fast food, drinking way too much alcohol, and regular exercise was nowhere in sight. Bad habits took over, they shaped my days and slowly pulled me further from the right path. I surrounded myself with the people who thought this life was totally normal. Deep down, I always known this lifestyle wasn't leading anywhere, but I kept lying myself. Maybe after the next party I will start making change. One more McDonald's won't hurt, but guess what? It does hurt. I had this inner struggle, but each time I ended up giving into temptation, choosing the easy way out, and sabotaging myself. By January this year, I hit the rock bottom mentally and physically. Looking in the mirror made me sick of who I would become. So I committed to working out. I decided to get serious about working out and hit the gym again, trying to go regularly. But since I kept all my bad habits, and that's why I didn't see any real changes, and nothing changes if you don't change. At the end of summer, I had a wake-up call during a trip with friends where I realized this wasn't the life I wanted. Everyone was drunk, acting wild, and I suddenly felt like I didn't belong there. I would always known my choices weren't true to who I am, but that moment made it clear. I had to stop and start working toward the person I actually want to be. Instead of helping myself, I would been holding myself back. Now I see it was me, keeping myself stuck all along. I can blame my surroundings, it's on me. I realized I can't just drift along, this is my life and I have to take control. I can't wait for a miracle or for someone else to fix things. The final decision has to be mine, only I can leave the old me behind. So this September and October I have been preparing for this change. I said no to every party and distraction and took time alone to plan how I would start fresh. I am ready to bring out the real me, the one that's been there all along, just buried under excuses and lack of willpower. This version of me is real, and now it's time to match my actions to become the person I want to be. And here I am, ready to make it happen. I am ready to start this journey of self-improvement. No more putting things off, just hard work, determination, and self-discipline. It's about making choices that benefit your future self. We have to show self-discipline, respecting what our future self needs and deserves. Real change doesn't just happen, we have to create it ourselves. We need to face our fears, question our doubts, and act the way our future self would act. Fear is our biggest enemy. We are afraid to make changes because we are worried about failing, about what might happen if it doesn't work out. So we stay in our comfort zones, giving into the easy way out. But when we look back later, what will we regret more? Not trying at all and missing a shot at a better life, or trying and failing? I think we all know the answer. The most important thing is to have a clear picture of what we want to achieve. We need to know exactly where we want to go and who we want to become so we can plan the path to get there. Once we know our goal, anything that holds us back or doesn't help us reach it has to go. One of my biggest issues was knowing I want to change but not having a clear vision of what that looked like. Now I know I don't want to keep hurting myself mentally or physically. I want to build an environment where I can grow. The journey will be just as important to me as the goal itself. I want to be consistent, mindful, and balanced. I am ready to drop my bad habits and replace them with positive ones. What am I cutting out of my life? No more parties, no more alcohol. Like I said, this used to be a huge part of my life, but that ends now. Alcohol holds you back in every way. I am not saying you can't have a good time, but alcohol is honestly the true enemy. If you want healthy body, if you want to hit the gym and build muscle, you have to cut it out. It messes with your mind too, leading to bad, even reckless decisions most of the time. There is no point in going out, getting wasted, losing yourself, and then barely remembering half of it. The day after the party is a total loss, hangover, and too out of it to do anything productive. Sure, you meet lots of people at the parties, but trust me, these aren't the connections that will push you forward in life. For a long time, I thought of alcohol as my liquid confidence. But when you really think about it, it's kind of sad to rely on it for self-insurance. It won't fix anything, it just pulls you down further and eats away at your self-esteem over the time. It's time to be done with it and focus on real solutions. Unhealthy eating. No more unhealthy eating, no more junk food. I used to eat junk food several times a week, but that's enough. The saying is true. You are what you eat. If you are filling your body with low-quality processed foods, how can you expect to feel good in your own skin? You have got to ask yourself, it is really worth giving into temptation for 5 minutes of happiness from a Big Mac, only to feel bad and guilty afterward? The answer is definitely not. It's not worth it. These foods pack in a ton of calories but are low in nutrition, which can only lead to weight gain. Porn. No more porn. Yes, I regret to say I used to watch it a lot. It's tough to think that this was part of my daily routine, feeling the urge to hop online and search for something. I thought it would help me relieve stress or make me feel better. But let me tell you, it usually doesn't make you feel good, it makes you feel worse. You end up feeling guilty, questioning if you really needed that. The idea that you can't hold back and think you need it is just terrible. Not to mention, there is tons of research out there about how negatively affects the brain. It's mind-blowing. We shouldn't be chasing easily accessible dopamine from watching it. It impacts our behavior and our relationships. I have made a lot of progress in this area, but I need to cut it out completely, and I will. Cutting out toxic people. It's time to cut toxic friends and people out of your life. I know that sounds harsh, but it's what needs to happen. You should surround yourself with the people who are like you, those with similar goals who can support and uplift each other. If you are choosing friends based on who is cool or whose company gets you noticed, you are thinking about it all wrong. Those friendships, if you can even call them that, are fake and shallow, just a bunch of pretenders. Over the past month, I have been selective about who I hang out with. Why? Because on the path to change, our acquaintances will be the first ones to test us. Invitations will come in, asking you to go to party with them, trying to pull you back into the lifestyle you are trying to escape. You have to turn down those invites. Yes, it's tough to say no at first, but draw strength from the thought that each no is a favor you are doing for yourself. It will get easier every time you do it. Sure, with all those no's and sacrifices, gossip and whispers about you will probably start circulating. What's happening to you? You have disappeared. You are not yourself. Not yourself? Seriously? I went through this last month, but don't let it to get you or stress you out. Take it as a compliment and thank them for revealing who they really are. Cut out everyone who holds you back, and soon you will attract the people who truly matter. Overcoming yourself. And finally, the most important part, overcoming yourself. Beat those negative thoughts that limit you. No more fear or doubt. only moving forward. Don't let your past define your present and future. Learn from it positively, but don't let it hold you captive. I have regrets about things I could have done differently in the past, but I need to learn to move on. Love yourself because you spend the most time with yourself, but that doesn't mean you should choose an easy or comfortable path. Respect yourself enough to think and act in ways that propel you forward. You have got to shut down overthinking, which only leads to anxiety. Don't be afraid of what if. It's pointless to play all those negative scenarios in your head because they only generate fear and stop you from taking necessary steps. You need to replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Our minds are our greatest weapon, but they can also be our biggest enemy. If you learn how to use them to your advantage, you will become unbeatable. You can achieve anything if you have the persistence and don't hide behind excuses. Motivation can be fleeting, but if we can make persistence as discipline a part of who we are, we can become unstoppable. Do my problem sounds familiar? If you are watching this video, you might think these problems are pretty standard. There is some truth to that, but if you take a good look at yourself, I am sure at least one of these issues feels familiar to you. I have shared my short story about how I made the leap from realization to determination. Now that I am outlining the first steps of what I need to cut out and eliminate from my life, the big question, what comes next? First, let's see what changed since the beginning of the year and where I stand right now. On the right, you can see my January self. Safe to say I wasn't in a top shape. I had a lot of fat and most of the muscle I had previously gained had pretty much disappeared, all thanks to not working out and living an unhealthy lifestyle. On that day, I hit the gym to start training again, but as mentioned before, I kept all my other bad habits intact. I wasn't paying attention to my diet, and I wasn't getting enough protein to support my progress. On the left is my current state. Compared to before, I am a bit better. I have managed to build some muscle, but the excuse is fat is hiding it, so you can't really see change. Believe it or not, I actually gained a little weight, 1 kilogram heavier than before. In my opinion, I haven't made much progress, which is due to my old lifestyle and many mistakes I made during workouts. Between the two photos, I have completed around 70-80 workouts, which honestly isn't that much over the course of 9 months. Workouts. So what I'm planning to change in my workouts? I used to train one muscle group per day, but now I have written myself a new plan that combines different muscle groups to hit them harder and more frequently each week. There are tons of options for this and everyone has to find out what gets them the best results. Here is the first version of my new routine. Chest, shoulders, triceps, back biceps, legs, rest day, shoulders and chest, arms and back, and rest day. I have split it over 7 days with 2 rest days, and after every workout except leg days, I will be also doing 30 minutes of cardio. Yes, you are seeing it right, I am actually including leg day. Honestly, I used to skip it entirely because I didn't think it mattered. But if you want to avoid chicken legs, you just have to do it. No excuses. Plus, it boosts testosterone, which is only a good thing. Last month, I started testing out leg days, and after the first workout, I almost threw up and could barely walk out of the gym. But I survived, and with each session, it got better. Nutrition. If you want to see real changes, working out isn't just enough. You have got to stay on top of your nutrition too. To build muscle, you need enough protein, but to lose fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit. I don't want one to come at expense of the other, so I'm thinking long term. I will start with a diet of around 2,500 calories daily with a good balance of protein, carbs and fat. I will see how my body responds over the time and adjust if needed. But I definitely want to shed some pounds along the way. I am also getting into meal prep because, let's be real, Cooking every day is such a time drain. So I will prep lunch for 3 days at a time. On top of this, I'm going to focus a lot on hydration. Drinking enough water every day is crucial for health since it's essential for everything our bodies do. I will be aiming for at least 3 liters of water a day to stay properly hydrated. Establishing routines. I want to bring some structure into my days, and I am planning to create both a morning and an evening routine. But why is having a consistent routine a good thing? It reduces stress and anxiety, it gives you a structured framework at the start and end of your day, so you don't have to keep deciding what to do next. It helps you focus better and be more productive. A morning routine lets you start your day with intention and set some goals which boost your productivity. An evening routine helps you wrap up the day, let go of daily stress and prepare for the challenges of tomorrow. When you regularly include the same good habits into your routine, they become easier to stick to and sustainable over the time. It also increases self-control and discipline. Consistent habits are key to building self-discipline. A morning and evening routine reinforces the self-control since you are establishing daily habits. Your evening routine also helps your body get ready for the rest, improving your sleep quality. Now, let's talk about sleep. Unfortunately, I'm not sleeping well right now, but I'm going to work on it. I tend to overthink at night, so I want to try stress management techniques like relaxation and breathing exercises to calm my mind. I need to create the ideal sleep environment. It's important to have silence, darkness, and the right temperature for a calm and comfy sleep. Also, sticking to a consistent bedtime and waking up time is something we can set with our routines to regulate our biological clock. And let's avoid screen time before bed. No more blue light. We need to stay off our devices for at least 1 hour sleeping. Reading instead. I want to read daily and the best time for that is at night. Instead of scrolling on your phone in bed, grab a book. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through TikTok, I'm committed to reading at least 20 pages a day. Daily reading comes with tons of benefits that positively impact our minds, emotions, and everyday lives. Here is what you get. Improves vocabulary and communication skills. Stimulates brain activity and enhances memory. Boosts concentration and focus. Encourages creativity and problem-solving skills. Expands knowledge and general literacy. Increases self-discipline and goal achievement. Self-development. Integrating and using positive thoughts. I believe that by implementing the changes I mentioned earlier, it will really help improve my mental state. But that's not enough if I don't change my thought patterns. It's time to rewire your brain. When we change our thoughts, our feeling and experience change too, transforming our entire selves. We need to replace those negative emotions and thoughts like fear, hate, anxiety, worry, jealousy, anger, and sadness with positive and supportive emotions. Think about feelings like confidence, hope, optimism, kindness, gratitude, enthusiasm, joy, and peace. Whenever a negative feeling creeps in, take a deep breath, count to 5, and push that negative thought aside to replace it with something positive. I believe that if we keep doing this, those negative feelings will fade away over time. And what holds this entire journey together? Self-discipline. Lastly, I want to dive into video creation. I plan to document my journey and show how I'm getting better every day and getting closer to my best self. But the most important part is that I want to help anyone who is in similar situation as me. I want to give that first push to help you climb out of your rut and take action for yourself. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it or found yourself in it, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.